Lipstick is calling, don't bother, Angel. I know exactly what goes on.
Welcome to the new and improved iteration of J-Bomb's predictions. After years of using stodgy text to predict the LFL weeks, I've decided to take a new route, at least for now. Now, you'll hear my blaring monotone voice papered over montages of amusing photographs aimed at informing your brain and tickling your funny bone. Expect these to come out every Friday afternoon, except for the weeks like this week where there's a game on Thursday. Enough jibber-jabber. Let's get to the predictions. Tom and John are proud LFL franchises that didn't quite get off the ground last year. John's team ended up missing the playoffs, while Tom's squad was decimated in the first round by Raff's team. Both are looking to bounce back with teams that look solid on paper, but in this week, Tom's team will come up big as his trio of high-octane running backs punch out John's chances at an opening day win. Predicted score, Tom 102, John 86. Matt makes his triumphant return to the LFL after the league took action against a certain member who is trapped in a communist hellhole. No, I'm not talking about David. Matt's draft day squad was panned for being too dependent on a Packers QB, but the defending champion's decision-making was downright crazy. I mean, who drafts Peyton Hillis as his first pick? Seriously, Peyton Hillis. It remains to be seen whether Kevin's strategy yields him another high-powered squad or a complete dud, but I expect his campaign for a repeat championship to get off to a good start with a solid victory over Matt's team. Predicted score, Kevin 87, Matt 78. Rarely do you see a team emulate J-Bomb's moves. After all, I am the dude who made Stacey Mack a household name throughout the LFL. But Raff has two running backs from my team last year, Frank Gore and Mike the Human Bowling Ball Tolbert. At least one of these players actually made it through to the end of the season. Raff's season is going to depend on Adrian Foster's health, and I'm not sure the Texans bruiser will make an impact in Week 1. That means Scott's well-rounded team of Jamal Charles, Hakeem Nicks, and Vernon Click-Clack Davis will score an early win in his quest for his first ever championship. Predicted score, Scott 98, Raff 86. David's underpowered team shocked the world last year when it made the finals of the playoffs, but David's meager hopes were dashed when Kevin's team defeated him in one of the most lopsided finals in LFL history. He begins his 2011 campaign against a Doug team that is relatively well balanced. David's trio of running backs, however, will surprise some people, even though he made the unfortunate decision to draft Peyton Manning. Still, he has Eli Manning, who is no slouch. I give David a very slim win over Doug in a matchup that should be quite good. Predicted score, David 83, Doug 81. Last year was considered a banner year for the J-Bob squad. Not only did it take the title of the vaunted J Division for the first and last time, but it also managed to defeat a much, much, much better team in the playoffs. That, of course, is Ando's team. This will be an interesting matchup, as both our teams are somewhat dependent on their wide receivers to prevail. I expect, though, that my running backs will outpower Ando's squad just enough to pick up a hard-fought victory. But it wouldn't surprise me if I met Ando's team again in the playoffs. Predicted score, J-Bomb 104, Ando 99. What happens when you have the 4th and 5th overall picks? You get a team that is dependent on Michael Vick's ability not to get injured. If Vick manages to escape with both of his ACLs intact, then Josh's team could be the recipient of absurd 60-point outings. If not, then there's not much else besides Ray Rice holding his team together. And while Jeff's team's fate is tied quite a bit to the fortunes of Lions, Panthers, and Patriots, there are enough weapons in his arsenal to pull off an opening day victory. Predicted score, Jeff 92, Josh 85. Wow, I managed to get through the predictions in one take, which is amazing considering I usually don't. Tune in next week for an auditory delight that is J-Bomb's predictions.